Hello everybody and welcome to Making Gold on Guild Wars 2. I was about to post my next video on the market manipulation series when I got a comment posted on video number 17, which made me realize that I needed to clarify my comments. While my actual advice was sound, the terms which I was using were somewhat off base. Yagovi wrote, "You're mistaking supply for demand a lot in this video. When ArenaNet changed the Mystic Forge recipes to create a better market balance, they didn't change the supply of wood, but they greatly boosted the demand for wood. They gave people a good reason to buy and use tons of wood. And you can't really constrict the supply of anything. You can't affect the drop rates, or stop people from farming something. What you're actually doing when you're attempting market manipulation is create additional demand. You're a buyer." Thanks, Yagovi. I do appreciate the feedback. I'd like to split your comment into two parts. First, address the differences between supply and demand, and then second, talk specifically about Mystic Forge. In the real world, producers and consumers are two completely separate things. Even though I do go to work every day and produce something, nobody packages up what I produce and puts it on the shelf to be bought. In fact, there are very few people out there who create a single physical product on their own and place it on the market to be purchased. In Guild Wars 2, you don't need employees, salesmen, a marketing team, an HR department, and a couple of bean counters. You go out, farm the item, and place it on the trading post. In real life, there's a divide between the producer, which is usually a corporate entity, and the consumer, which is usually an individual. Thus, we can talk about supply versus demand all day long, and it makes sense in the real world. But when those lines are blurred, I can almost as easily go out and pick copper ore from a node as I can get it from the trading post. What does this have to do with Yagovi's comment? He said that we are creating additional demand by purchasing low-cost items and reselling them for a higher price. This would be true if we considered supply to be every copper ore node in Tyria. Unfortunately for us, infinite supply creates quite the quandary when trying to compute how much gold we'll make from market manipulation. I therefore consider supply to be just what's on the market. Therefore, the 1.8 million copper ore in the trading post, which just happens to be quite a bit less than the infinite supply in Queensdale. Under such an assumption, buying a large portion of ore, or any item from the market, in effect constricts the supply. I will go into detail and add a huge caveat to this subject in my next video on market manipulation, which is all about supply. Now, for the specific example of the Mystic Forge recipes, I was wrong. Mostly. ArenaNet created a huge amount of demand for butter by adding these recipes. The demand was short-lived for the duration of the recipe. This reduced the supply. Remember, I'm talking about the quantity on the market, not the infinite supply of butter from the infinite number of mobs, from over 1 million sticks of butter to just over 300,000 sticks. But what ArenaNet did behind the scenes was bigger than what they did out in the open. Reread just the last line of that first paragraph of the article that I quoted to you. We're making adjustments to the game every day. Players can expect to see these markets even out over time. If all they had done was implement the short-term fix, i.e. the Mystic Forge recipe, then this would not have had any sort of long-term impact on the game, or of the price of butter. And the market would never have evened out as it has. What this means is that they adjusted the drop rate of these items, which affects the, quote, real supply, meaning that the infinite amount of butter is now a little bit less infinite. In short, the Mystic Forge recipes increased demand. This reduced supply on the trading post. The effect was to increase the price. The nerf to the drop rate on the butter meant it would continue to raise in price over time. Thus, ArenaNet's actions were to restrict supply, as I said. Does this make sense? I hope so. I'll see you in my next video, which is all about supply.